time now for our education segment. Right, this is where we take a look at a topic which is going to be helpful to people wandering around aimlessly in the market. How about some ideas to get you thinking about what you ought to be doing and what you ought not to be doing? This week we're taking a look at a relative strength analysis document that was produced by Garth McKenzie from Traders Corner. Mark, this is quite a nice looking document. It's a 4-page PDF, but he makes the important point up front that he's not talking about relative strength indices. He's just talking about relative strength of one sector or stock against another. So just take it through from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's noticed, and as everybody in the market has really noticed, that some sectors perform differently to others. So there's a little equation in there where you divide the prices for one time series by another time series. And then you end up with a line which is either going up or going down, meaning that one of the components is outperforming the other. And it's a good way of looking at trying to get a kind of relative idea as to which sectors are kind of performing and underperforming.
So in this case, he's plotted the JSE industrials versus the overall index. The line goes up, which means?
Yeah, the industrials are outperforming against the broad index.
Okay, so you can cycle through the market looking at those different sectors. Let's move on to the next chart, if there is one, because what he does then in the article is that he says, well, look, that's all very well. This is, again, another outperformer. That's the financials. But he then says, okay, well, if we've got a sector that's doing well, let's have a look underneath that and look at which stocks have been delivering that outperformance and which haven't.
Yeah, look, it's not weighted, so that's a more technical kind of issue as such. But the main thing is you're beginning to see the stocks which are contributing the strength to that particular index, which may be outperforming another index, and vice versa. So that puts the trader or the investor in a good position to evaluate which may be the better shares to buy or sell in those particular sectors and areas.
Because I'm sure you have this, like I do, you know, people ask you on the weekend, or, you know, friends and family say, oh, wow, I see the market's doing really well. But what they're missing in that is that, you know, it's a story of one sector over another. It's a story within those sectors of which stocks be delivering the outperformance and the underperformance.
Yeah, I mean, look, when the market, for example, was running earlier in the year, some shares were major up, some major. Then it was rotated back and forth 2 or 3 times in the last 3 months.
Yeah. Conversely, look at what's been doing the damage. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something to buy, you know, and you're looking for the most kind of murdered sector, I mean, we all know intrinsically as resource, this kind of confirms it. Then go further in, look at the actual individual shares in there. It's a very headline analysis, but it gives one a sense of perspective.
Just remind me, so how do you get this stuff? You're saying that he seems to imply that most of the packages that people have, or sort of software or online sites like ShareNet and like Share Data and so on would have these kinds of things.
What you need is you just need what they call a time series. You just need the prices for a period of time for the 2 things that you're comparing. A lot of software packages will enable you to take that. It's a cut and paste effort into Excel if you're kind of technically minded. If not, some of the packages will actually even generate these curves for you directly as well.
Is there a final image? Oh, there's the gold miners. There's a chart which is in this paper which has got all the colorful boxes. That's the one I'm looking for. So the font's here probably too small for people to see, but what that shows you is that that's the index, rather the industrial 25. And you can see while that's been a very strong outperforming sector, those are the stocks that have done well. These haven't done much. And these, in fact, have been a lag on the overall sector performance.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things you find out in this analysis you've got to remember that it's going to be looked at over the time horizon or the time period that you're looking at. So it may differ from what you see in the market today or you've seen in the last week or 2. But the idea is to begin to indicate some consistency and trend to the story.
And I certainly do that. When we have shows where we're going to compare, say, 2 stocks or a group of 4 or 5 stocks, I'll often go and look at the sector leader in terms of market cap, look at its chart over a 4-year period or 3-year period or whatever, and then start plotting the others, because it immediately gives you that perspective on who's doing well and who's not. And that's where you start getting the ideas like we had with Woolworths and Pick n Pay, because you can see that stark variation.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.